Hi, everyone. So, who else is autistic this week? Nobody asked. I think most people might not have heard this person, but Caitlin Collins from CNN is for sure autistic. I don't know if she knows, um, but that's who I clocked this week. So she's just been like, I've been seeing more of her on like news clips and stuff, and I don't know. I just really think that she's autistic. Just in case anybody was out there wondering, "Oh my God, is Caitlin Collins from CNN autistic?" I just answered your question. You're welcome. Anyways, I have some good news to report. So, karma is real, people. You've probably experienced it in your own life. Maybe you did something shitty and something shitty happened back, or, like whatever you put out into the universe is what you get back. I firmly believe in that because when I used to put a lot of my bullshit out into the universe, guess what came back to me? More bullshit. So, what a change in course my life has taken now. But, anyways, oh, this is so exciting. So, you know how, like, there's just this people in your life that you'll never forget that have not left good impressions on you. If anything, it's been the exact opposite. And you think to yourself, like, I hope karma gets you. But, like, the majority of the time, we don't know if somebody has experienced that said karma because like maybe like that person like we just don't talk to them anymore for obvious reasons, or like how would you know, like if something happened to them. And I'm not sitting here like wishing cancer on people. That's not the kind of karma I'm talking about. Just anything that makes them feel like a miserable fuck even more than they already do. And this happened today. So there was I've talked before about the last job that I had out in the real world with other people, the one that drove me out of the workforce entirely. And two people were the culprits. Like, they were the ones that just kind of did it for me. The first one was my supervisor. I've talked about her plenty of times before. Her name was, well, probably is, she's probably still roaming the planet somewhere, Sarah. And she gave me like legit PTSD, like triggered me a bunch. And then there was her sidekick, Kelly. And ooh, that fucking bitch. So like this chick comes on to the job. I've been there for years. She comes on and within 6 months she acts like she's been there for 6 fucking years. She's that type of person that um for lack of a better uh, description, like her shit don't stink. That's how she uh, acts or was. She fooled me really good that first month because that's when I started questioning like am my skills slipping for reading people, because for the first month, but then I forget that like everybody usually, unless you have like a really dirty soul, everybody's on their best behavior, then they get comfortable and then you start to see like is that really them, or are there other versions that are going to come out and scare us? And she had other versions. So for the first month I thought she was decent. But granted, I didn't really have very many interactions with her because, we each had our own caseload. We wouldn't see each other like too often unless it was like work related for meetings, whatever. Not for like lunch or anything. But anyways, she was a fucking bitch. She came into my office, God, I think I had went to Sarah because Sarah was my supervisor, and I said something to her about Kelly that made me uncomfortable. Sarah was my supervisor. I had every right to be like, this person, I felt uncomfortable because they did this. And it's the supervisor's job to maybe follow up and, just a normal thing I did. Well, Sarah decided not to be a supervisor because Kelly was her bestie. Like, ugly recognizes ugly, I guess. And I'm not talking about appearances. And so Sarah had said that to Kelly, whatever I told Sarah. I don't even remember what the fucking thing was. All I remember is that my supervisor, instead of helping me in like trying to like listen to me or something, or have a chat with Kelly in a professional manner, she goes to her like a friend, is like, oh my God, you won't believe what Ange just said to me. And then so Kelly like just walks into my office, um Like, knock, bitch. You're supposed to fucking knock, even if your door's open. Don't just stroll on in. But maybe that's a military thing. That's what I learned in the military. Anyways, she just walks into my office and she's like, the next time you have something to say about me, you come to me. And like, just gross demeanor. Like, those kind of people. Fucking disgusting. Sorry. I have to remind myself, you're not there anymore. You've moved. Okay, I've moved on. But you know what I mean? That was so surprising to me that that happened. And like, that's when things really started, like, that. I think that was like my huge red flag. Like, this work environment is not getting any better. It's getting more toxic. And I felt so betrayed. Like, hello, what the fuck? I don't even have to tell you. Like, I mean, you know why that was wrong. Like, what the fuck? So, anyways, and then I just became a target for her. And I was the type of person at that point where, like, I was done with confrontation with people. Like, I had worked on myself a bit. So, but like, I traveled to the other side of the spectrum, and instead of confronting or engaging, I would run and avoid, or, you know what I mean? Like, I couldn't handle that stuff anymore. It made me so anxious. And so I like, and when people are like that to me, when people were like that to me at different jobs, I made it very clear, okay, so this is like the tone that you set. So moving forward, please only talk to me if it's work related. I don't want to hear anything that's not work related. Otherwise, I won't be acknowledging you. And you can't get in trouble for that. It's being professional. I never got in trouble for it, but it sure was glorious when you could see that once you started enforcing that boundary, and like they would come to you and ask you about your weekend and you just didn't even acknowledge their existence because what they said to you wasn't work related. Oh my God, just glorious. Because you know that they're embarrassed and irritated. And look, this is maybe not a mature thing to do, but it was the thing that got me through without getting sent to prison for shanking a motherfucker. So, anyways, now that I've given you that backstory on that bitch, so she works with in my wife's building. It's a huge building. They work in addictions counseling. My wife's a therapist now. And Kelly came on about 6 or 8 months ago. I think maybe at the beginning of this year, I want to say. My sense of time sometimes is warped, but like she hasn't been there for a full year, I believe. So she's still the new kid on the block because other people have been there for years, just like my wife is. She's one of them. Kelly comes on to, she gets hired there. Alicia tells me, I start cringing because even just hearing about the person that like fucked with you just brings up negative thoughts and feelings. And the good news was that they worked in different departments, so Alicia didn't have to work right next to Kelly. But she did hear things here and there. And so Alicia has like a work wife and like somebody else. So there's two people that like are good people, like, what I mean by that is like our kind of people. And so Alicia was like, I know you're not supposed to say anything bad really about somebody coming in because people have to form their own impressions. But just a heads up, this is what I experienced and what my wife experienced at our last job when this person was there. And that's all she did. She never said anything bad about her. She said, this is just what happened. Be on the lookout. Um, and so then like it was 2 months later and Alicia had heard something about Kelly being a dick somehow and told me, and I remember having the thought based on whatever Alicia told me that Kelly said, that, oh, this bitch hasn't changed, because I do like to give people the benefit of the doubt. Not that I ever planned on, look at me talking so well. No, you know what I mean, compared to like what this sounds like now. Hey kitty, I'm talking. Hey kitty, can you go around? Can you please go around? Excuse me. There's a cat here. You probably could gather that. I can't move this. Hold on. Okay. His just my microphone was blocking his entry to his cat tree. Sorry about that. But anyways, I had the thought of cuz like I do believe people can change. Like I have changed so much. So if I can do it, like obviously other people can. And there's always hope for the dirty souls. But I remember having the thought, like, nope, this bitch is still the same, and it's been years since I had seen her. And so I told Alicia, I was like, you watch. I'm not going to give it like a year before this bitch starts causing trouble. And do you know when you say something like that and it comes true? And it is the most wonderful feeling in the world for that to come true, that you said something and you were right. Oh, wait, that's like the majority of autistic people, the majority of their fucking lives. We're usually right. Sorry about this tone. Like talking about this person. Ugh. So anyways, she did some shit. She basically she went to the front desk where the receptionists were. She bitched about something. It ended up being an issue where she made the mistake. And instead of owning it, um, she was so fucking rude and unprofessional. And so the person that she pissed off is like the person that you don't piss off. Like, I don't know how to explain. It's just like she pissed off the wrong person when she was rude to them. So that person went to Kelly's supervisor and was like, I don't want anything to do with her anymore at all. I don't want her coming to me. I don't want her talking to me. Like, it was that bad. Also, it's come to light that Kelly, who is also a counselor, not just a supervisor, but she still does counseling, um, she would try to poke at the clients, like try to instigate something so they can start a fight with each other, or you know what I mean? Like she's trying to rile them up. Like, what the fuck? You're in the wrong goddamn field to be fucking with people like that. Like people who are struggling with addiction and who are trying to learn coping skills for their fucking feelings and like how to stay sober and like how to get their life turned around, and you're sitting there fucking poking at them like evil, man. Sorry, I've been throwing that word around a lot, but in my mind she sort of fits the definition, but that's just my opinion. But so she's doing shit like that, and so the person that she pissed off filed a formal complaint. um and so Kelly had to be told by one of the doctors, this is not how you treat patients. And this doctor, Alicia has talked about for years because she's close with him, and, he's good people too. And so just the thought of Kelly being in the office with that doctor and him saying that to her, oh, how embarrassed she must have felt, how enraged she must have felt. So I smell revenge on the horizon. And I also smell her dirty ass being kicked the fuck out, probably within the next few months. I'll give it 3 months to be generous. Um, but she pissed off the wrong people there. Also, she brought like 3 people who she worked with from her last job to this job, thinking like, if I bring a little army, that's just my suspicion, that like maybe I won't feel so alone and there's strength in numbers, but like, no, bitch, nobody's on your side because you're just gross. And so it is just it's also a nice feeling to know that a fucking bully can be brought on down. Never mind. I don't know what I'm trying to say. It's nice to know that bullies can be put in their place, but I know they won't stay there. And I know she's not going to stay there. She's just going to stir up some more shit, either quit. She's probably going to quit because she doesn't want to get fired. She's smart enough to probably sense if that might be coming. And she's just going to move on to the next job, the next set of people to fuck with. Don't you hate people like that? But from what Alicia shared with me, it was just karma at its finest. Like, finally, bitch, finally, somebody calls you on your shit. Finally, somebody forms a complaint against you and it gets taken seriously. You know what I mean? So I just wanted to share that with such great news. Also, um, I was watching Survivor, the US version, and so I'm not going to give like tons away, but if you're watching the US current season of Survivor, there's this one chick on there who clocked a sociopath. And in my opinion, sorry about anybody who is like, "Oh, why am I listening to this? I don't even know what she's talking about." Sorry, but there is like this person on one of the tribes that is like one of those um like what do I call them? I don't call them anything. They claim they're spiritual, and they like to have prayer circles and like positivity. But the ones that are always the fake ones are the ones that are loud about being that type of a person. You know what I mean? Like the real spiritual people, the real gurus don't announce what they fucking like. They just don't announce stupid bullshit to everybody. Like, look at me, look at me, look at me, look what I can do. And so, like, there's this other chick that was like, she didn't use the word sociopath, but she knows that that person is not legit. Like, it's just a front. And, like, I get that everybody puts on some sort of a front in that show, but, like, this was, like, a pretty obvious one to me. And finally, somebody picks up on it sooner instead of, like, several episodes going by before somebody gets a clue. Like, I felt so validated. I was like, thank you, contestant. I forgot her name. Thank you so much for like, see, like we can read people. I wanted to say that because I was pretty proud of myself and I had nobody to share it to except for Alicia the next day when she woke up, and she doesn't appreciate stuff like that as much as I do. Um, Next thing I was gonna say, where am I at with time? Oh, okay. So, short story is our money situation's not that great. Things are going up. Um, it's just getting, I'm not bringing in a regular income. Like work has been very sporadic with me. I'm trying to figure out how to make writing like something that is a career for me where I could live off of it, you know what I mean? Without sounding cringy. Like I want to make a living off of being a writer, and I'm just struggling, like it's slow going trying to figure out how to do that. So we're living basically off of what she brings in, which is enough to pay the bills with a little bit left over, but like that's about it. And we have debt to pay off. So I have been feeling like absolute shit because it's like I have to figure this out on my own. It feels like not like she's helping. I don't mean it like that. I just mean like I don't know anybody that's a business person that, is successful with their writing and has been able to like make that a sustainable source of income. But anyways, so I decided, well, I got to do something. So one of my bills is Discover, and if you've listened to past episodes, you know I'm not that great with money, and I haven't used the credit card in so long, but there's quite a bit on it to where I have to pay $261 every month for the payment just for the Discover card. And that's a lot because back when I spent like, if you listen to the episodes about how much money I spent on ramen, you'll understand. Um, money in me, numbers in me, it's just, I'm so irresponsible. I'm not even going to try to pretend like I'm not. And I don't do it on purpose. But anyways, so that's my payment. So, I went onto the Discover website and I was looking for, is there any way I could talk to somebody via message so that like, cause I'm not calling cause I'll have trouble understanding. Plus, like, I won't be able to understand all of that stuff in real time if I'm doing this without Alicia presence. Like when they talk about APRs and money stuff. But anyways, so there was a chat feature, and it took me about half an hour to get this done with this person, but they were able to get it to where for the next 6 months, I only pay about 75, $80 a month on that card before it goes back up to like whatever payment it's going to be. And do you know how much of a relief that is? Like, I know it doesn't really chip away the debt. I get that. But in the meantime, like, we need money now. Like, you know what I mean? Like, people have so much debt in this country. It's like, ugh. Like, what's more important right now? Like, food and stuff. Not that, like, I don't mean like we're struggling. I just mean like, this is the best option right now. Like, 75 compared to 261. That's a huge deal in my, well, not deal, but that's helpful in my opinion. So my plan is to do that with like another credit card that I have and a couple of other things that like are negotiable, I think. Wait, negotiable? Negotiable. Yep. Um, and I'm gonna see if I can't get some on that too. I know you can do it with like internet and other stuff, so I'm gonna try that. Um, and I suggest like if anybody is embarrassed about doing something like that, you don't have to be. Do you know how many people are doing that these days? I bet so many people. So if you've got bills that you want to have lowered and you think you can get like some program for several months to pay like less, it's worth it. I would do it sooner rather than later because things in this country I feel like are just exponentially worse day by day by day. And so I'm trying to take advantage of stuff like that now before it goes away. Um so that's really all I got back on here to say. Also, this week has been very strange. Yesterday, Alicia came home and she's like, I almost broke down at work. I had to do some tapping. I had to put my headphones on. I was upset. And like, it turns out like so many people she works with are just not doing well, like spirit wise. Like morale's down. And like yesterday was difficult for me because everything seems like a chore. I had to talk myself into going to stores. Um, well, I only went to one. I had to talk myself into it. It took 3 hours for me to convince myself it's only down the street. Just go get the thing. And so it's been a weird week. And Alicia said, yeah, a lot of people at work are saying that they like feel this way too. Like, I wonder why it's just this week. I wonder if I wonder if it's like a build up for the no Keens thing for tomorrow. And everybody's like on edge or something. But I guess I'm still waiting for them to declare like martial law or insurrection act so that everybody can, so there's just a bunch of chaos tomorrow. But I don't know. I'll just wait and just see what happens. But I really needed to get back on here and get all of this out of my head. So thank you very much for listening. Once again, I hope there was stuff that you could pick out from this that was relatable. Um, and I appreciate you listening to my nonsense. Okay. Okay, I guess that's all I have in my mind. I gotta go take an edible now, cause like my brain needs to slow down. Um, okay, goodbye.